Sunday evening in Jamaica. I tell
Yep.
you. Yo, from 3 p.m. we're lucky, the government is stand on the yard. So hope that everybody is inside and just tune in and enjoy themselves. You see me?
Welcome to the
Wagwan.
interview.
Up
Interview
on
squad. Blessings. Glad to be here.
not a
Back
problem.
inside.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Well, lad, you must on the road a while ago buy coconut water.
No, sir. I get coconut water yesterday.
Okay. Remember, let me tell you, I'm have to encourage our basketball players, remember, eat healthy. Make sure say night one bag of junk because it not gonna look good when you step out of COVID with a beanie man belly.
Yo, you see the memes them? You see the memes them? Yo, Jamaican cruel, yo. Them a deal with the icon away, yo.
Yo, give thanks to them. Yeah, they did it for the culture.
Yeah, man.
I go on. I mean, it's a killer.
You never see it?
But killer the counters, them, you see me?
Yeah.
Being a man have the hits, but killer the counter. When I said, what go on with Major Hype and Tony Mataran, I say Swiss Beats and Timbaland are burn them out and all of them stuff. That what go on? And nobody know.
We don't know. We don't know. Yeah,
one thing no comment and tell us.
Yeah, man. Only thing me know say, through the COVID, the last dance is the best thing ever happened. That's alone me know. Because a while ago, I did a watch back. Yo, may I tell you, before, personally, I'm tell you, if you don't get a chance to watch the last dance, you need to go and sit down and watch it. That documentary, yo. A while ago, I watch it, I wonder, persons, you know what? I don't want to be biased. Big up myself, everyone. Hope everything is blessed. Get what I'm saying. So, Willard, who we have on stream today?
We have this intelligent, talented world traveler. I mean, she's a gym rat. Yes, she's all about health, eating, and all of them things. You see me? And yes, she's a national player.
You know anything about her?
Yes, Goofy should know.
Go on, talk. I met this female at Star Search killing people.
Which means she's a star. Which means she's
post
a star.
moves, mid-range jump shot, good passer, play for Jamaica. What? Lad, tell the people about her.
Yo,
we have Ladonna Lamonth. Yes, it.
Bring her up and running. Ladonna, what's popping?
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
No,
you're most welcome.
We're the happy one, You realize that 3 years I was just blessed with a beautiful female now. So we're the happy one. Thanks for being here. No persons can really watch the show. Ladonna. Something to look at.
Ladonna, since today is Sunday, and I look on some stuff and I see I have like Jeremiah 29:11. What is that? What is that verse? Tell me about that verse and why you have it up on your profile.
That verse kind of brought me through a lot of my struggles. It was basically saying, you're here for a purpose, and whatever you're going through, it's to build you. That's the essence of the scripture. And it was something that I leaned towards in my trying times. And in my life overall, it's just something that I use to motivate me and keep me grounded.
Okay. All right. Ladonna, let the viewers know who exactly is Ladonna, where grew, which parish you're from, which high school you attend, which primary school, and just let the viewers get to start to know this lovely princess.
All right. So my name is Ladonna. I was born and bred in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. I went to St. John's Primary, big up to 35 St. John's Road. Then I went to St. Catherine High, and then to Sam Sharp Teachers College, and then to the University of the West Indies, and then to Concordia University here in Canada.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Give me 2 words best describe Ladonna.
Energetic, hardworking. I give you 3, and determined.
And determined.
Yep. And undetermined. All right. I have two. All right. I have two statements, Ladonna. Tell me which one best fit you and explain afterwards. Listen carefully. Ladonna, a rich girl with inherent opportunities. Ladonna, a girl who have been through a lot and still managed to fight to be successful in life. Which statement really is accurate?
It has to be the latter. And anybody that knows me or knows my story would agree. It has to be the latter. I've been through so many things, and I am, as I said, a determined person, and I just, decided after going. The first thing I would say was the death of my mom, and that was the first challenge for me. And at the age of 13, and from
not do me that.
Chano.
Yeah, if I could.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah. We're hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after going through that, I said, if I can overcome this, then I will overcome anything in my life. So I was determined to get through whatever it took, and there were a lot of things thrown at me, and I'm here today to, say it can all be done. You just have to be determined.
Okay. All right.
Condolences.
Oh yeah, I know that must be rough. All right, Ladonna. When you start playing the game of basketball, when was the first time you bounced a ball and you said, all right, you know what, I like this game?
Okay, so that's two different. That would be two different answers. If you would say the first time I bounced the basketball, that would be at probably the age of 6, 7.
Okay.
But that's because my stepdad, who's a well-known basketball player in the western region of Jamaica, he was a basketball player and a basketball coach. So we would go to the courts and we would play with the ball, but not necessarily play basketball. I was still known as a netballer to most people. And so that's the ball that I really played with most. But to love the game, to actually play and, fall in love with the game, that happened, I think, maybe when I was probably 18, 19 years old. The first time I actually played competitive basketball was in high school in about grade 10. But it wasn't after doing any training or learning anything about the sport. It was just a case where we were all netballers. The season ended. Mr. Linder decided to have the girls compete in the high school competition. So he had a bunch of netballers come in, and we just tried a thing, so to speak. And we get rubbed out left, right, and center. I don't think that year we scored a basket in any of the games that we played.
Oh.
That was my first experience actually playing the sport. So of course I didn't love that. So netball was still the go-to. I didn't actually start experiencing success until I went to college in Montego Bay, where I played in the league down there, and I started to win games, and we actually won the championship there and stuff like that. That's when I started to, experience a success and started to like the sport. And then I went to Star Search, 2009.
When it became a star. Okay.
Actually, no. When I went to Star Search, it was a redefining moment. It was a learning experience. I learned so much about the game. I learned, it was just a big learning experience for me. Met some great people. I met my boyfriend who is there too. So, and we're still together. So that's like 11 years. So basketball has done a lot for me. So that was great. I learned a lot that year at camp. Met some great coaches, and I was now exposed to the sport. I didn't know that there was actually female at the national team, so to speak. And this is where I learned all of that and started to get some exposure. And that was the early parts of my journey in basketball.
Okay.
So,
all right, then,
wait,
before you're going further, Willie, before you ask the question, I just want to go back a little bit. You said your stepfather, but you didn't put a name. What's the name of your stepfather?
Hubert Scooby Grant.
Oh, it's Scooby.
Okay.
Why you keep it a secret?
I thought I said it. Sorry.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
That's one of the questions I was gonna ask you. So, but you beat me to it. But you're saying that you played netball and basketball. So which one come easier to you?
Naturally, it was at the time, earlier in my playing days, it was netball. Netball, because I was playing since I was probably 7, 8 years old. My mom played, so this is a sport that I was interested in. So I was playing from a younger age. I didn't start to play basketball until probably age 15 or age 16. And so, but the transition wasn't very difficult because, you could pivot to netball and all these things. And I was pretty decent at netball, so that transition wasn't very difficult. But there were some fundamental skills in basketball that I needed to learn, and I didn't start to, refine those skills until later on in my, in my career, like playing the game. It was, yeah, I would just say it was very late. I'm a late bloomer. I would want to say that. I'm a late bloomer.
Okay, I see Sasha say, Adrian, you want to big you up. I don't know what is that about, but it's something to mention. All right. You mentioned about starting playing basketball late, and you got a lot of beat up in high school. You start attend college where you start win some games, and you saw the potential. Star Search bring that out. Through this process, was there any female player that you look up to and you say that you really like this person game and I love if you can match up to that person on the court?
So after Star Search, and I was approached by, I have to give you a little backstory. So I was approached by Richard Pollack. He was the one who, at Star Search, he chose me to be his favorite camper that year. And then he invited me to his club. He was starting a club, Homestead Cougars. So that's when I met and started being around people like Sasha Dixon and Melissa Farquharson and Stacia Castles. So that's when I started to know more females in the game, so to speak. Now, being on that team, I started to learn about other players, and I met Oberon through netball though, but she's also a very good basketball player, and she's one of the first person I would say, I need to have moves like her drop steps, her back to the basket game is, and she's not a big person, but she was one that I looked up to. And then later on, somebody that I really admired was Angelina Tush. She got a scholarship as well. She was overseas, and when she came back and I saw her play, her length, her athleticism, she was just like this complete forward that I wanted to be like at the time, So she's one that I look up to also. And I would say Althea Byfield, just because of her aggression and
yeah, Byfield. Okay, big up yourself, Althea. Big up yourself, that too.
All right. Man, big up all of the ball.
I heard it just mentioned that you match up with Sasha Dixon, and I made a phone call today, and I called to Sasha and I said, Sasha, what about Ladonna? The first thing come out of her mouth, Ladonna don't like losing up. Ladonna don't like lose. Where that drive come from? Where that motivation? I heard her talk about it. You lose your mommy early age. What keep you fighting that way? That someone can say, "Listen, Ladonna is a fighter." Where you get that drive from?
I would say it's an internal, it's an intrinsic thing. I would say I got it. It's just by nature, I believe. As you said, after my mom died, it was something that kind of woke me up in a way, in a sense where I realized that, anything is possible, anything can happen. And after that, I decided, this is going to be the survival of, that's going to be my story, the survival of Ladonna. How well are you going to go through this process called life? Because the next challenge that was thrown at me was to go and live in Toys Meadows. And for those who are in Jamaica, Toys Meadows, otherwise known as Toys Pen. It's an inner city community in Spanish Town, and no food say, nothing no good, no come from around them place there, so to speak. Even though that, like, for me, what I did was to pick out individuals I saw coming out of the ghetto, and specifically out of Toys Pen, who made it and who were doing positive things. And I looked at them as examples and decided this is where I want to go. So from then, I always want to to be good at what I'm doing and always be successful. And so I brought that mindset into sports as well, where I just want to win. Yeah.
Well, rather easy to cry. So she never like losing. Yes, that's from Nicole.
You're a baller, you're a baller. That's a baller. Yeah. A real baller, them not like lose. Them get emotional, man. Eh? Trust me.
You mentioned about the intrinsic motivation, which, as we always say, no man is an island. But if you were to look back now, who was your biggest supporter in your corner that can't keep pushing, even though you were self-motivated? Was there anybody who stand right beside you that you can look back now and say, this person never want to give up, and they were always there?
At different stages, where there were different people, but there was one constant. After my mom died, there was one constant, and that was my stepdad. He and up to today is still my rock. Like, whenever I'm going through anything and I start to feel uncomfortable about anything, I would talk to him, as well as my boyfriend as well. So from a younger age, you know, getting older, my stepdad has always been there. And then when I met my boyfriend in 2009, he has become my best friend. And, you know, even when things aren't so good between us, we still talk about things, and he motivates me a lot and supports me as well. And, you know, being in a country, this big country by myself, there are no family, you know, my boyfriend doesn't live in Canada. Nobody lives here with me. My support came from those two individuals. So, yeah, they have been the rock that keeps me grounded.
All right.
Big up Mr. Grant and big up Adrian.
We know that you got a scholarship. Was that a basketball or a netball scholarship? Because you play both sports, I hear pretty well.
Yeah, it was a basketball scholarship. I got that in 2016. One of my teammates, Vanessa Giddens, she played on the national team. We actually played the year before in I think it was the Central Basket. Oh, maybe not. I don't remember the name of the tournament, but we went on a tournament together in Mexico. And that was, I think, was the first or the second time I played with her. And she had a friend who was a coach here in Canada, and it was her second year on the job, and she wanted a post player. And Vanessa told this coach about me. You know, she knows this big, strong post player, aggressive, and she gave a whole description. I don't know who she was talking about, but she told me. And she called me and she said, you know, there's this opportunity for, you know, at this school in Canada and stuff. And I was like, don't you think I'm too old for this? And she said, no, man, it's good and whatnot. And the coach called me, and we had a discussion, and we talked about all the things, you know, I was concerned about in terms of my age and eligibility and stuff like that. And she said, it's fine and stuff. And so I went, and she didn't offer me the scholarship. I went on a visit in the spring, and after she said she'll give me a call. But for me, the visit didn't go too good. So I was kind of skeptical. I was like, okay, I'm not going to get this. But then she called me later on and said, you know, she's going to offer me a scholarship, and I was out that summer.
So thumbs up for Vanessa for describing.
Yeah, you know,
one hand help another hand, you know.
Not a problem. You mentioned that you were skeptic because you think about age. So you were at teaching college when you got this opportunity, or you already start teaching in Jamaica?
I already started teaching. The thing is that, okay, so I finished Teachers College 2010 at the age of 20. So I got my first teaching job in St. Mary High, and I taught there for 1 year, and then I started teaching I went back to Montego Bay. I taught at Malden High for 1 year, and then after that I got a scholarship to the University of the West Indies to play netball. So I played at Youre, and I completed my bachelor's there, and after that I taught for another 2 years at Edith Dalton James High. And then that's when I got the scholarship to go to Canada.
Okay.
So I was 26 when I got my scholarship. So my situation is like an anomaly. It's unique, I would say.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, just God
But
bless
somebody
again.
who
You might say
Yeah.
so, but that can probably be something where they give hope to a lot of people who feel they're too old
Yeah.
to probably acquire a scholarship. So this is why you guys should, and girls should remain in top form and ready. Melissa says, and look, they know. Ladonna basically has the same thing.
And I don't want to steer your questioning and steer how you wanted this to go, but I would just add here, because you said to be ready. I wasn't. But I agree with you that you need to be ready, and this is why my story, I use my story to inspire and to talk to young people, those who I've spoken to, and show them my journey, and that would be my message as well. Be ready, because I was somewhat in shape, because I had just come back from a tournament the year before. I was somewhat in shape, but I don't think I was ready for this college experience. I didn't know what I was getting into. But I was trying to get ready with the help of Rowan Robinson that year. I remember I called Rowan and I said, Rowan, I might be getting a scholarship and I need you to help me, get ready for the showing, because I was going on a visit before. And he said, for sure. So I started going to Excel, and Ron was helping me, with my workouts, and, we were doing one-on-one, and I was playing with the guys at Excel and, stuff like that. And also, I don't know if you know this guy, they call him Muscle Man in Spanish though. So big up to him as well. He would come with me to the where the Spanish basketball court is now, and he would help me with my conditioning as well. So so I was getting ready. I wasn't ready when it was the opportunity came, but I was getting ready. And when I came, this is when I got the scholarship. So I'm in Canada. I'm here, and I went to my first practice. I realized I was not ready at all. What I was, these practices were nothing like what I was that I had experienced back home. It was high level. It was fast, and mind you, basketball, they would say in Canada, is not, the level is not the same like the NCAA. So you can imagine, if it's like, for me, it was definitely nothing like that I experienced in Jamaica. So it's not the same as the NCAA, but it was at, it was somewhere close. So I got there, and it was a shocker for me.
Wow.
And my first year was tragic. I'm known as a hard worker, so but it was very, very difficult for me, physically, mentally, all the alleys. It was hard, to the point where I lost my scholarship. The coach said, she said, there's no question about your work ethic. You're a hard worker, but in terms of what we need on the team right now, you're not good enough. Basically, that's what she said. And that cut so deep when she said that. And she was basically trying to find another player, which she did, out of Jamaica, to come and fill that gap. And that player didn't get to contribute because she was not able to. And I was still here. I had a few people that were here in Canada that decided, you're going to finish this degree, with or without basketball. And so my second year of college, I was not on a scholarship, but I was still invited by the coach to come to practice. I did a few times, but I was doing my own thing. And that's, I heard Willie say before we started that he saw my eating regime and all of that. That was a personal decision that I made that year. I didn't have to, because I was still getting by. I was still finishing my degree and everything. And I decided I need to do this for me and for the game that I started to love. I needed to be better, and I need to show her that I am actually what she needs on this team. And that year, my second year, I went on this, I changed my diet. I was in the gym twice per day. I I was in the mornings before, after my morning classes, I would be in the weight room. I might have a class after, then I go back to the gym. I do conditioning or work on skills in the basketball gym. And I did that for a year. And by the following year, I was in the coach's office and we were having a discussion about me, coming back on the team as a scholarship player. At first she said, she it's because first of all, it's very expensive to have an international player here in Canada. And my school is not a rich school. I learned that late. So my school doesn't really have money like that. And there were 3 of us that were from the Caribbean, 2 from the Bahamas, and myself from Jamaica. And we were the first international students in the school from that were on scholarship.
Nice.
It was over 24 grand for our tuition for a year. So it's very expensive to have us here. And I guess for her, it was, I wasn't a superstar player. So for her to be paying all of that out of her budget, it was a stretch. So, so my second year, again, at the end, I was in her office and she offered me a 50%. And she said, based on what you can offer, it might become 100% at the end of the year. And I remember leaving the office and I said, this is going to be 100. Like, they're going to pay for my tuition this final year. I'm pretty sure. And, I went in the preseason. I was fit. I was making the 10-second sprints, over some guards that were there. And it was going well. And I remember our first game against Ottawa GG is a big team. They had this 6'5" girl, big girl. And this was my challenge to guard this girl. And this was my first game back. I had to prove that I was needed. But when I got in the game, my main aim, every game I went into, I had an objective, and my objective was to stop this girl at all costs. She was their main scorer, she was their main rebounder, and my aim was to stop her. And I did exactly that, to the point where I didn't even contribute offensively. I was just boxing her out. She was not they weren't passing her the ball. So I did a great job defensively, but not offensively. And I remember she telling me at the end, after the game, she said, it's the first one. And I said, okay. The second game we had was a tournament at our school, and I went off in that tournament, I would say, rebounding. I remember one of the games that really stood out was the game I had my first double-double ever. I had 21 rebounds and
wow,
points or something like that. And the points didn't come by me creating myself. It was me cleaning up. So I was working hard. It was players making shots, missing, and I was there for the rebound and I put back. And I remember she came in the locker room and she said, Ladonna Lamonth, congrats on your first ever double-double. And she was just going off about how I, was giving them second chances and stuff. And I said, this is the start of something new. And after that tournament, I remember the practice after that, she called me after practice and she said, put on the jersey and go to the office. They're going to be taking some pictures. So I was like, okay, pictures, okay. I go to the office and, I put myself together. I'm in my little white jersey and
Jamaica style, I feel like. Pick something.
And so that was like in October. I was taking pictures, but I didn't know what the pictures were for. I just thought they were going to put it on the Instagram page because we had a great weekend. The tournament was the weekend. And close to the beginning of our season in November, I remember the girls coming in the locker room and they were all talking. They're like, oh, the pictures are so nice. Da, da, da. And I'm like, what pictures? And they're like, upstairs, you haven't seen, you're on the wall. And I'm like, oh, what? So they're like, yeah, your picture's on the wall. And I go upstairs in the gym and there's a billboard size photo of me in the white jersey on the wall. And I cried.
I know.
But it was for me, as I was saying, you have to be ready so that you don't fall, into certain situations. But that situation, I think, was for a purpose, and it made me find my purpose and find, myself and learn a lot. So I learned so much about myself in that year that I didn't play. I learned that I was extremely tough. I learned that that year I was really pushed, and I learned that what I thought was my limit was not my limit. and I grew so much as a person. And so I don't even regret, what happened, because I am who I am today because of all of that,
Okay.
That's an awesome
story. I saw Keisha put up I knees laddie or something like that. I don't know where that come from.
That's from netball. Because I'm a goal shooter in netball, and I usually just post up goalkeepers. Whenever they would pass the ball, a lob inside in the circle, and I would jump for it. I would always do this action where my knees, like I looked like I was doing a high knee, and it would go very high. So everybody called me laddie with the high knee.
And goofy when you hear a story like that, because as Laddie mentioned that she was teaching out here and she made a decision to go overseas, and then to hear that she was cut, her scholarship was taken away because they believed that she weren't good enough, but that didn't stop her from continue to work and ensure that the next year, you talk, I'm going to cry. I don't know. I get all emotional.
I'll be honest, right now, you inspire me to go back and coach right now. I want to show these little kids, say, hey, something can happen for you. Laddie, I'm proud of you. Keep it up, man. Trust me, this is testimony.
So Laddie, to dig a little bit, to get deeper into what was explained, you said that you work out with Ruan, you were also a part of the national program, but when you step in that arena the first week, you realized that it was an eye-opener, basically, because it was like, what I was doing in a matchup. Looking back now, what would you say was the number one thing that you think was your downfall? Because it sounded like it wasn't just fitness because you were already fit, but what really opened your eyes to say, in Jamaica, we really need to develop this? What is that thing?
The skills, some fundamental skills, like, for example, I remember when I went on my visit, the coach that was doing the workout with me, the post coach for the team at the time, she had me doing a bunch of drills, the micron drill and stuff, and she asked me to do the reverse layup, and I was like, the what? She said the reverse layup, and then I was like, I can't do that. But I did try, because that's one thing I would not do, is not try. But I did try, and she realized I couldn't do it. But there were some other skills where I guess the coaches expected, a player at that level to be able to do. So I could make a layup, yes. Like most players, when you're developing, the first, one of the first things, apart from pivoting and passing and so on, you're taught to do is to make a layup. I can make a layup. I can catch the ball, I can pass the ball. But there were some other, skills that, reverse layup and, some other fancy stuff, I would say fancy stuff that you needed to know how to do. And then there were some other things that were technical that you needed to know for that level. 3/4 deny, high side, low side, when to be where, when to be, how to swim and get to the other side, how to be in help, this. There were so many technical things that the girls that were there already knew. They learned these things either from the CEGEP, which is like the JUCO equivalent in Quebec, because I'm in a French province. They learned either this in CEGEP or they learned in high school. And for me, it was just like, wait, what?
All new terminologies.
Yeah, so it was a lot of new stuff. We got a whole handbook of plays that we had to learn for the next practice. And you had to know each position. Like, you need to know where to go, when to go there. And one of the main things I was talking to Tasha about this the other day, was communicating on court. So when I got there, they asked me to, they said, Ladonna, if you don't talk on court, we're going to run. And I didn't understand the importance of this. I'm just like, why did they need me to talk? I just need to be on the court and be where I need to be. And she said, if you don't talk, we're running. And I was there. And every time we did a drill and I didn't say, I got your help, or if I didn't say, screen right, jams, edge, if I didn't say these things in the game, we were running suicides and sprints for me. But this was something I learned later on. This was important, communicating in games. And, when I went to the national, when we went to like tournaments, and the girls from overseas, they were exhibiting some of these, skills and qualities in the game, but I didn't really understand, and it's because they were exposed to trainings like these overseas while, they were, and it's something that you have to cultivate in practice. You can't just get up every day and say, okay, come talk. You can't just get up at the game and say, talk. It's something that you have to be doing in practice. And I wasn't doing that back home. So it was all new. And so there are
Wait.
I want
You represented for the national team. You played for Youre, right? You play Division 1. You were there with OneonOne with Ruan, training you, and you play, and you didn't know how to do a reverse layup.
No, we were just working on mostly plyometrics, coming out the drive to make the layup, catching, doing a drop step. We were working on some skills that were, they were in the long run. I still had those skills there, but there was that I needed that I didn't know, and I wouldn't blame anyone per se to say.
No blaming, man. Come here and say,
no, it's not a blame by Willie.
Would I blame Sasha? Would I blame Sasha because? Because Sasha no even sure Ladonna won't to do that.
Oh, will you blame Sasha?
Yes.
Sasha, you have been warned. All right. I don't want to ask any more questions for no one because I don't want Adrian to say, who the youth name Gary? You get me?
So, Adrian have a question.
Let me see what I go on. When would you
say was your defining moment?
That experience that I described earlier about losing my scholarship and really going in and practicing by myself and working on my fitness and coming back and dominating my position on my team. I was at the end of that season. I was the number 4 rebounder in the conference. I was I had the highest shooting percentage on my team, second in the conference. And my picture was on the wall. What more can I
You made the wall. Yeah. Okay. You made the wall. And that is Ladonna. Beautiful picture of Ladonna in the gym.
We have 2 questions for Ladonna. Adrian, big yourself.
Go through
2 questions for Ladonna. Ladonna, first question. Would you coach in Jamaica?
Definitely. It's giving back is something that I definitely want to do. I talked to Sasha and Shanika and Christina. We all stay in touch and we talk, often. And one of the things that, Shanika and we were talking about the other day was, coming back to do a camp soon. And I was like, just let me know when. It's teaching is what I do. It's my passion as well as playing sports and playing basketball in particular. And so giving back in that way it's natural. It's something that I really want to do.
Okay.
I know you're going to be great at it. Second question.
By the way, this was my first year at my job, and you have to coach a sport, and I coached the junior boys basketball team, and they have never
like a championship.
They have never in this competition. It was a very low division though, however, given the circumstances, and we won the championship.
Congrats!
Carol got a little skills.
So the coaching has started.
The second question.
The second question for a young up and coming basketballer from Jamaica watching this now. What you want to tell them? When you want them, look out for all of that.
The thing I've heard this question, this answer so many times. I want to tell them that first of all, anything is possible. Once you put your mind to it, you don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be the most talented, but if you're the hardest worker you can get the same opportunities as those who are the most talented. The next thing is, as Mel said in her interview, be ready. You have to take care of your body as an athlete. If you want to be an elite athlete, your body has to look like an elite athlete. You have to be ready. So it means watching your diet. It means working out when you don't feel like working out. It just means to be elite, you have to do the things that elite people do, elite athletes do. So you can't just be regular with your everyday coming in and going out and expect to be elite and compete with elite athletes to the highest standard. It's not possible.
All right. Before you're going further, because I have a question, and not even a question still. I know a lot of females are watching now, right? And I know the young females will eventually watch. But I'm kind of upset today, and I want Ladonna to address this. I'm just going to bring it forth. Melissa Ferguson did an interview with us, and she volunteered her time to say that she's going to do a workout Saturday. This link was sent to majority of these groups. It was sent to coaches groups. I said even some females liking it back and forth. And just to state that not even one female
showed up
for this workup, this virtual workup. However, every day you hear they say, I want to reach to this level. They want to say nobody looking at females. No, if females don't try to step out and work hard. Ladonna mentioned that there was a point in her life where she lost her scholarship, and that was the wake up to say, listen, we have to go hard for it, yes or no. Ladonna, can you address these young females who constantly talk about they want to reach this and versus not looking at basketball? However, when the opportunity present themselves, they don't want to do anything extra?
You said that, and I felt a kind of emotional inside because when I was in Jamaica and when I was seeking out opportunities, because I did that, one of the things that I did was wherever I had to go to get the training from whichever coach or to work out with whichever team, I went there. And this is like, for example, my first teaching job after college was in St. Mary. And I would leave from St. Mary in the week on a Wednesday and go to UTech. So I leave St. Mary to Havertree, and I would go to practice to work with Richard Polak. And Sasha would tell you, that was the year that I lost the most weight ever in my life. I was so fit, but the sacrifice that I had to make to get into that shape, it's very worth it. I had to go out of my way to get all of that. I would leave from Montego Bay with Nicole. I see Nicole coming sometimes. I would leave from Mobay with Nicole just to come to Kingston to train, whether it would be with Walgy or the national team, the national netball team at the time. Whatever it took, I was ready to do it. I didn't care how far I was. I didn't care, what it was going to cost for me to get there, but I need to get there. And these young people need to understand that you have to, in order to be successful, you have to be willing to sacrifice something. So it means you might have to sacrifice some fun time with your friends. So everybody's on Instagram and everybody's just living on their phone. And I know Melissa had that workout. And I know they weren't doing anything because everywhere locked down. They could have gone live and they could have done the workout, but they chose not to. It's a choice. And when you do that, you can't expect that people are going to give you things, right? Melissa is in a position now where she might be able to help, some young girls, but if she's offering you the help and you're not taking it, then what do you expect to happen? I mean, I know a lot of people, they always look out and say, job and now do this and them now do that, and now do that. But what are you doing for yourself?
That's the new phrase, What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing for yourself? Like, you have to make sure that you are putting in some work somewhere. I see a few girls I know are talented, but when I look at them, you see that they look comfortable. They don't look like they're ready to go to the next level. And it's going to take more than just talk. It's going to take more than just pointing fingers at people. So, you know, it's very important. You just have to want it for yourself, and it shows. And there's one thing I always remember: how well you prepare and how you prepare will always be known.
Wow.
So don't think that you can pretend that you're working out and pretend that you're putting up shots and pretend that you're in the gym lifting and that it will not. We will know. Yes. When you hit that basketball court and you're not able to keep up with people who are doing that, it shows. So we know you're not doing that. When you're making 2 from 20, we know you weren't putting up shots. So your preparation, how well you prepare, the quality of your preparation will be known. So
that's facts. That's no cap right there. 100% agree with you. And I realized last night. Yeah. When I was younger, playing basketball, and like there are certain female on the court and them stuff that you'd have a fear that sometimes if you know them good, you're not even to want to mark them in case, you know, them show you up. Like Sasha, some of them that just say, yo, you go mark her, man, because yo, I'm play too physical. You know, just match up. Just yeah, but I said, like, just looking now with all the younger female players, I'm not sure if them bring a presence, they know. You know where them can't tough it out on the court with a male and get a respect there. Because as I said, it seems like them comfortable. I don't know. There was more love. I saw more love for the game from females when I was growing up.
Before Ladonna talk about this, the thing about it while I expressed it earlier and I'm really angry and kind of upset, is the thing that this interview is not just for we to be on a stream. We don't need to do all for other foolishness, right? We're here to assist in basketball in the sense that we bring some story where we can motivate the young players there. We try to say, all right, let's encourage the ones who are overseas to give back, support, give help through development. But if we are inviting persons, for example, I would be scared now to look at Ladonna and say, can you plan a training session for the girls in Jamaica? Because guess what? I don't know what the next result is, what they are going to do. So guess what? Viewers, persons who are watching, persons who will stream later, if you're serious about basketball, if you're serious about, not as Ladonna mentioned, it's not only basketball, because what she learned also go over to her life skill. And she know that she's determined on the court, same way off the court. So if you're serious about success, not basketball, success, make sure that you talk, you walk. You can't just say this and this and this, and you're not pushing. All right.
Well, Keisha was saying that the coaches may have received the info about the Melissa workout, but did they pass it on? So we don't just blame.
No, Willard, Stumbo. The coach Stumbo mentioned to me about the link. I sent that link to Stumbo, and I know something was posted to a group. I know it was posted to our next group. I saw it on Facebook. So it's not a case when you find out and not even one. That's a difference. If it was limited amount, I will say that nobody didn't know about it.
Yeah. But not even one.
That is the thing.
First of all, hold on. We need to shout out Melissa right now. Melissa, thanks for doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Don't stop. Keep doing it. And if you want to do it again and you want to add the boys as well, let us know so we can spread it around.
Come on, lose the belly.
Yeah. So let's not just, I know we are trying to promote the girl, but if some boys want to do the workout, hey, let's get people involved and push the thing forward.
Yo, with a running still, you know. Like next time Melissa do it, I feel like we need to
go in because this belly can't look like Beanie Man. I have to lose the belly.
Do you want to be that guy?
I don't want to be that guy. No, I don't. All right, back to our
started my 2 days workout now. So Melissa, reach out to us, please, and let's keep this thing going, man. I actually feel shame right now. So no girl to turn up.
All right then. But back to our queen, Ladonna.
Yes, man.
Yes.
The queen.
What would you consider, looking back now, one of your biggest accomplishment? That after that, what is the biggest game you think you have played in, and it made you feel afterwards?
I think that's the biggest one.
The biggest game.
When she have 21 rebound and get a double.
That is the biggest game.
No,
I reached for the billboard.
Listen to her because she played for the national team and she went overseas.
All right, she have a bigger one.
Actually, we didn't do so well at that tournament, but I was proud of my performance. This was 2018. We went to the CAC games in Colombia. And when I went to that tournament, this was after, my year of doing my own, preparation and working out. And I was in shape and I went to Colombia with the team. And for the first time on the national team, I had games where I was, I had doubles in both rebounds and points. And it's not just about having the double. It was just I was just impressed with how much I had grown, since, my last showing. And I would say those games at the Columbia games, at the CAC games was, very memorable for me. One, because it was on the international stage too, but just because of my first test after, preparing by myself.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, there. We had a little dead moment. I have a question here from Stumbo. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it for you. He's been asking all the overseas players this question, so let's see if you can answer it. Hold on. Here it is. Is there a difference in the coaching locally and overseas? If so, name a few.
Yeah, for sure. Well, from the coaches that I have experienced in Jamaica and the few years that I played here in college, it's mostly about the technical aspect of the game. I learned a lot of skills, from the coaches back home. For sure, they know, how to teach you these skills, and that's, they're good at that. But I don't think, or I don't even remember learning a lot of technical things about the game, like learning. Like I really learned basketball after playing here in college, like really understanding the game and learning, a lot of technical things that happened here. And I think when you're in Jamaica, I think especially when you're at the collegiate level, these things need to be taught. And I don't know if we do that very well overall. I mean, there are coaches who, have all of these skills, but not all of them. And so some players might be, some lucky to have those coaches at their disposal, but not everyone. And from my experience, I think more technical aspects of the game need to be taught. And it needs to be a spiral, like, how in education you have the spiral curriculum. So it needs to be building. So every time you get higher or get older, you're adding to something. You can't be at college and you're just learning how to do a layup and stuff like that, and you're just learning. The coaches are focused on teaching you skills. At this level, you should be learning, technical things about the game, how to play defense, how to play help defense, when to be in deny, when to be in help, when to, like technical things about the game, which are very crucial. Jumping to the basketball and, stuff like that, where these small things affect a basketball game and can affect your offense or your defense. And I think a lot of those technical things, a lot of players are not really exposed to.
Okay. And as Ladonna mentioned about it, we realize she's talking mostly about basketball IQ, which I really believe that not only the female, but overall, we need to improve on that. And she just just jump into the basket. When I was learning the game, that was something that Coach Donald Jackson mentioned to me. It's so important that sometimes when the person is guarding, to jump out to the ball and catch it. And for real, these little things, we're not seeing it. Goofy, what's going on?
Ooh, it's rough. It's rough. The kids need more.
to goof his defense though, one of the things I think is the challenge for a lot of the coaches is what they have to do at different levels. Because, for example, if coaches at the high school, you coach college, right?
No, not no.
Okay, high school. Say he's a college coach, and you're at the college level, and you're teaching. You have college kids ready to go to play a tournament, a game or a tournament or whatnot. You have to be teaching them things that they should have known
from
primary school.
So the time that he should have been using to teach technical, and learning the game and the IQ, getting your IQ up there, he has to be teaching, putting down cones and telling people, okay, take your first step here to make this layup. Stuff like this. Keep your elbows out.
No, man. I understand what you're saying. It's frustrated.
It's frustrating,
right.
Have the time for when in fair teach. When someone pass the ball, if you're on the ball, jump here so you don't get face cut. This is what a face cut is. That you know what I mean? Like there's so many things, and you just don't have the time when you're teaching them how to do layups when they're 18 and 19.
Okay. Ladonna, you say you wanted to come back and probably have a camp. So Keisha had a question for you right here. Read the camp. Will that camp be solely for females?
We didn't talk about the logistics like that. We didn't really talk about the specifics yet, but I don't think so. I think it might be open to both male and females. But my passion is female, and I one of my other passion is mentoring, talking to these females. You see that thing that happened with Mel and the workout, like if they had people talking to them and explaining the importance of these things and showing interest, because you might not necessarily want to do the workout, but just to be there, you never know who's watching. You turn up and you're there, and a coach, from somewhere sees the workout and you see, oh, this player, she comes on this live and she didn't have to do this. She's somebody that is dedicated or is interested in her own development. Like there's so many viewpoints and people seeing you just doing that workout. So if they have people to talk to them, to explain to them that this is what coaches especially they're looking for. It's not just about if you can shoot. It's not just about if you can dribble. It's not just about if you can rebound. You have to be a complete person. They have to see who you are and what your values are. Do you value hard work? Do you value good sportsmanship? Do you value these things? Because you can be an asset on the team just because you are very vocal, just because you're caring, just because you're hardworking. You don't have to be, the best at at the skills per se. Just your values is also important.
How much you want it? They need to see how much you want it. Yes. All right. There was a question from Keisha. No, that wasn't a question still. They mentioned Keisha Lindsay mentioned it, and also Sasha Dixon about the need more club leagues. Club league need to take place, because you mentioned we know for a fact that we have a lot of camps talking about this basic. We will train them to just dribble the ball right and left hand, but they still have to put it in practice. You have to have a competition going on where they face different competition. What's your view on that?
And that is such an important point. And the fact that we have a national team and we don't have a league, that is ridiculous. Like the girls, especially, I'm talking for the girls mainly, where we need to be playing constantly and facing tough competitions to be able to play on the international stage and compete against girls who are playing, every single day of their life. Like you have to be playing and getting that exposure and that experience to be able to compete against, international teams. And, I heard someone mention that, when you hear about the local players not making it over the foreigners, I don't consider myself a foreigner, but I would say, when I'm at home, you would say, oh, the local girl is not going to make it. Of course, you're not going to make it. You're not playing basketball at that level. You know what I mean? There are going to be some exceptions. There are going to be a few players who are really talented and who can, compete with these girls and, blend well with the foreigners, so to speak. But the average player will not, because they're not playing basketball in Jamaica. You know what I mean? After they play 2 months in that's it. That's not playing basketball.
Ladonna, hold on again. Ladonna, how many games and leagues you played in college?
Here?
Yes.
So for the preseason, we have our preseason where usually starts in September and lasts till about October. I'm not sure. We go to a number of tournaments where there are usually like 4 or 5 teams in the tournament, and then after that ends in October, then our conference league starts in November. That lasts to the end of February or March.
Wow.
And then if you make it out of your conference, then you go to nationals, and the nationals is usually a 1 week tournament in March, and then you end playing in March. And right after that, you might get like a 3 weeks break, and then you're back in the gym.
All right. Quick and fast, Willie. Before I ask a question, I need to load up some people like Rowan, who is supposed to the panic. Goofy, are part of it. Who had mentioned last year about getting a girls' league going. Listen to me. I don't want this COVID pandemic pass and we start play ball game and a girl league now run. So who need to hear must hear.
It has to pass first. When the COVID thing passed, then it has to pass first.
Consistent, Gary, because the thing is that we would have a league this year, and the next one is not until 5 years' time.
Yo, we love we have this now, we can't load them up, I mean, I tell you, when we come at the game, them don't like to Gary and Willie walk through. Because them say, be a problem them you take again now. And we are going to hold them to it because, trust me, I rather female on the set because I too much male there already. Some more interviews.
That's she play from September till whatever, right?
March, yeah.
Longer than 3 leagues in Jamaica.
Jesus. We need to get it up.
We play all year round. All year round. Because after that 3 weeks, back again.
Everybody who knows me, every league must long. Every league must be long. But tell you this quick and fast.
Yeah, it's a
play a competition in a 2 weeks.
No, man, that not work.
That's a big
Yeah, man. I better you them go play by themselves. So every league we run the league them for long. The league must can learn.
And the next thing I want,
you play ball for what? Probably like 10 years, right? A little more.
A little bit more, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So Flim Anthony White have a question here because I don't know where it come from, but I'm just asking if you would have surgery on your knees and.
Yeah, so that year that I was talking about that I came back and my picture got on the wall and I had that amazing preseason. The last tournament before our season started, I tore my meniscus. And so I was supposed to have surgery in December. So the plan was, to survive the first part of...
Sorry, continue.
In December. But by the time the doctor scheduled the surgery, it would have meant that I would miss out probably like 8 games. And the coach was like, we're like, no, that's not going to happen. So the surgery was then scheduled for the summer of 2019. So I had my surgery after I graduated, actually. I meniscectomy. They just removed the torn piece of the meniscus. And I'm still recovering.
You're still recovering?
I can play. It's just that I have to take extra precautions. I have to foam roll before games and stretch and then all kind of stuff that athletes do.
I normally pick out the little things that make when I just say, "Whoa!" Remember, that the same person who get cut, because she never good enough, I know the coach has said, listen, you can't do surgical, you can't miss a game.
You can't miss a game, no.
You understand, You understand what she talk about,
I give you another story. One of the assistant coach, I remember, he said to me, we had a discussion and he said to me, you are very valuable on the team. Your contribution is, it's well needed. And, I was like, yeah. And I remember we had a big game against our crosstown rivals, McGill University, big university in basketball here. And how we play in our league, we play the Thursday and the Saturday, home and away. And I remember that the Thursday we had that game, and the Tuesday in practice, I sprained my neck. I had that whiplash, but it was a minor sprain. And my neck was stiff, and I couldn't play the Thursday. And I was I was like, this is going to be rough. And the girls, they went and they fought. The top player on that team was their post player. And she was having a field day on the rebounds. And, she was just having a field day. And we lost that game. We had beaten them twice before. And we lost to them the Thursday. And then by the Saturday, the trainers, they were like, okay, we have to get you ready for Saturday. And this, I was, doing my exercising. I was getting treatments and all kind of massages and stuff. And by the Saturday, I was like, I'm ready to play. And we went out there, and that game, I think I had like 13 rebounds and how many ever points. But I was determined that we were not losing, and because of that big girl, because she was just having a field day on the boards. And I was like, no. That is not how it goes. So we went back, and the coach said, see, I told you. So, yeah.
Question.
That was on a busted knee. So I had on for every game I get taped like 5 different places. Whoa. And I have to wear how many braces. If you saw any of my pictures, even this picture on the picture that's on my thing, I have so many knee sleeves. It's just covering all the tapes that I'm wearing.
Oh, how can I get a jersey? How can I get one of your jerseys to wear? Because we need to you get what I'm saying. What I need to do? I need to send one. I need one of your jersey, man.
I can send one in the mail.
Is that your jersey in the background, by the way?
Yeah, when you graduate, you get a framed jersey like that.
Okay. Cena night.
Nice. Another thing. Wait, Jerome been asking a question. It's for you. Ask if you have any connection for males seeking opportunities. I'm not sure what type of opportunities.
But you know what? I'm going to be honest.
It's a good question.
Canada, I would not encourage, yeah. Because for my school pulverized, and for international students to come here, it's very expensive. They cannot afford that. But I know, Shanika Smith, you guys should get her on here.
She was talking. She was what?
Shanika is a big coach at St. John's, assistant coach, and she's well known here actually in Montreal, in Canada. Like they know, like she's been here recruiting and stuff. Like she's known, like she have links.
So we have them links. Then we now use them. Shanika.
Willard, as soon as Ladonna came on, Shanika say hey, she commenting, so she's watching. So you can just tell her
I don't have links, and I wouldn't, Canada.
Man, you set up Shanika, because I go on our Instagram now, go pressure her,
She's more, because her program, she's the assistant coach for the St. John's University women's basketball team. She have links, man.
Don't worry yourself. Shanika, interview squad soon link you. As we come off, don't worry yourself. We need to talk.
We have another question from Jervis here. And another national ball. Is it? Yeah. Laddie, list some of your favorite players you see in Jamaica before you went. You saw in Jamaica before you went overseas?
Enough. Make us start with who play my position. We mentioned her before. Tush. And that's Angelina Tush.
Angelina Johnson now.
Sorry. Althea Byfield. I loved Stacey and Facey as well. Good aggression and stuff to work on, but she was one of the good ones too. My friend Daya, speak up yourself. Daya is one of the determined one. She always adores the thing. And when it come on to the garden, how can I not say my parent, my sister Sasha Dixon, one of the people here, Oberon Peterson, Natty, these girls, and also Zandria Dell from Chilani. Some very skilled girls, and Kelly and those girls were really good.
Tracy and Kelly.
Yeah. There's one player that I see myself through her a bit, and I just think she needs some guidance, and she can really make it if she work hard. And is Idara. That girl has some strength, but she needs to get ready. I don't think she's ready.
Idara is at Michael now. Plays football and basketball.
Right. But Idara has so much potential, but she needs to get ready.
Ready. All right. Well, so I'm not sure. I think you probably answered this already, but it's still could you please talk about the culture shock playing on the college level overseas and how it affected your game?
Oh man, the culture shock was real. First of all, when I got there, when I got off the plane and the coach came to pick me up, and she brought me to her office and she gave me some gears, and she said, here are the practice gears, but you're coming from Jamaica, when you go practice, you wear what you want.
Take time with it.
She gave me gears, and I just bring them to my apartment and just put them down. And then we had practice. She said, meet her in the parking lot at a certain time, because our gym was under construction. So she was going to take me to the practice first time. And she said, meet her there at, like she said, 3:00. And I was walking into the parking lot at, I think it was like 2:59.
Yeah.
She was on her way out of the parking lot. And I didn't have my practice gear that she gave me. So when I heard the girls talking, and then I said, so we need that gear? And she said, yeah. I get to the gym. Well, I had to go pick it up at home to go to the practice. When I got there, everybody was in the same practice gear. And you had to be on the court at least 15 minutes before practice time. So if practice is at
your coaches.
If practice is at 4:00, you have to be in the gym at 3:45, and you have to be warmed up before she gets there. So when she gets there at 4:00, her practice starts. It's not stretching and warming up. That was another culture shock. Because when they practice start 4:00, but for me though, I was always early. But for most people, practice start 4:00. Them walking into the gym at 4:00 to go and change. Not over here. Then the thing was, you practice for like at least 2 hours, and then I remember one practice we ran suicides for 45 minutes.
Okay. Good answer.
Listen, that was something else. So your work ethic is a whole different ball game, and you practice every single day except Sunday most times. Sometimes.
Yeah, we definitely don't have that in Jamaica.
Every single day, because that was a shock for me too. I thought, you practice Monday, the next practice is Wednesday, then Friday. No, you practice every single day. You have weights every other day. You have study hall every day. There is just so many things. And you just have to get it done.
So hold on there. As a Jamaican, if you want good, you know is a run. That's all. Yeah. So that is definitely what you explained a while ago. And
you have to do things outside of those organized practice and those organized weight sessions for the team. You have to be in the gym outside of that by yourself. So you go individuals with the coach, or you go by yourself.
I see Rashida mentioned about should have a coaches clinic to show the coaches some basic drills and skills. We do it here and it's helpful. However, and I totally agree with that, Rashida. However, mention to me, how many coaches do you have for your college team?
There were four. There were four coaches. Four coaches.
Yeah.
One manager. There were like 5 to 6 people that were not playing on the bench at the time at a game. So yeah, I think we had like 3 to 4 coaches. One guard post, one post coach, the head coach, and another assistant, and then there's the manager and someone else that does the stats and other stuff. Yeah.
Goofy. General.
Yeah, it's not a good look for us.
I don't want. First thing first, interview squad is not bashing anything. We are just bringing out there how we can grow. And first off, accept that we have some faults and we need to fix it.
Yes.
But before this year, I remember even the national team, one coach. You must have 2, and you're talking about just as she mentioned, a poor. She used the word poor, so they don't really have enough money. College, she was a
college coach.
Let's give credit to where credit is due.
as a post player, when I do something on the court, not all the time the head coach, address me. Is the post coach like will come to me? Okay, so show me on the thing. This is what you need to do. And there's a guard coach, and they all have their roles, and it's needed. Because one person won't see everything.
And that totally explains why the technical and the fundamentals are dry. The kids are executing at a high level because you have different coaches. Everybody can. You get what I'm saying? So we need to look at the system. Everything. And I heard as Keisha mentioned about the females need to develop, and I'm going to just overstep that and say that basketball overall, males and females need to develop, because what is taking place out here in regards to how we approach competition or approach training session, these are the little things that is going to make a difference. It's not just one basketball going to happen just like that. You have to put in the work, and it starts from the top, go all the way down, trickle down to the players them. So if the coaches them start up them game, start putting certain rules, you have more persons back and forth, the players will know that, wow, this is serious. As what Ladonna said, she ran to the parking lot and she realized everybody on time, everybody in the same training gears, this and that. She never need to ask what the culture, it's there in front of her to say, this is what is going to happen. I think we need to fix that. So coaches have to be early. Coaches have to make sure that them approach the thing respectable certain ways. So it go both ways.
As the kids start playing too late,
which is
definitely national training camp.
Which training I go send them back?
No, but what them are do? Cause when them come at the court, where them money and play, them run them same way. You understand?
Who's them money, Willard?
Some of the gatekeepers of the sport.
Well, but we had this discussion already. National training. If it's 8 people in the country can play 8 people for training. You can't have 15 people at training.
Yeah.
You can't have 15 people at training and 6 are draw down the training. You can't have national training at 8 o'clock and somebody are running at 9 o'clock and just join the training. So these things need to cut out.
Totally support that. And as Ladonna show you, and her story is everything. She started out, she lose her mommy, she started play the game late. She travel back and forth. At one point when she was supposed to get the scholarship, she questioned it because she said age was a issue there. She went overseas, she got cut, and then she said no, she still not give up. She worked hard. The next day, the coach called her for a meeting where she said, yes, we need you on the team. She reached a point that she play a big game and she continued to dominate. She had knee surgery that's supposed to take place, and them have put it off basically to say, listen, we can't lose it for the 8 games. Trust me now. The story. This is not a joke thing, you know.
It takes a different type of people still. I think you have to have a particular, a type of a mentality where I know everybody have it, to be honest. You're a teacher. What do you teach?
So a mathematician.
Just free. Just free, you know. I want to hardest something that, you know.
But I believe, you know, I've seen them talk about a lot. The support system. Big up Hubert Grant. Charles him out. I've met that man. That man is a wonderful person.
I have to say something about that, because I heard this story one time. You know, I was watching your program, and you know, there was somebody said that the foreign people don't want to come back and play. And one of the things I wanted to say to that, because when I heard the point, I said, you know, I understand why they made that statement, and but one of the things too, you have to remember who you're playing for. I play the sport because I love the sport, and I'm playing for me, and I'm playing for my teammates, and I'm playing for my country. I'm not playing for the Jamaica Basketball Association. However, on the same note, whenever players get the opportunity to go overseas and play at college or high school, wherever they go, and I think this is a shortcoming of the association, those who are in charge. I think they need to make it a point of their duty to have some committee or something that reach out to players. And you never know what a player is going through. And just a phone call to say, hey, what's up? How is school going? how is practice treating you? Because remember when I came here, I'm using myself as an example. I was playing in a country by myself. When I leave practice, I go to an apartment by myself, right? Other players, they go home to their families. So if they had a tough training session, if coach was tough on them that day and they needed to vent, they had a support at home. I had to go to my apartment by myself and make a phone call back home, either to my stepdad or to my boyfriend, whatever the case might be. And that was the support. So sometimes players are going through a lot of things, and just a phone call, just to say, hey, how is it going, from their, the people that they knew that taught them fundamental skills. Say, how is it going? Instead, and if you're not doing very well, I noticed you don't hear anything until you see some highlight videos, and then you're invited to the national team. For me, as I said, I'm playing for myself and I'm playing for the country, so I don't really take a lot of offense to that. But I can see where some people might be like, you didn't call me when this was that. But what I would say to them is play for yourself and play for your country. But at the same time, I think as a country and as an association, we have to do better in supporting our young talent. Make a phone call, send an email, send a postcard, or reach out to these young people and support them in any way that you can. It doesn't have to be that you're going to buy them shoes or you're going to pay for something. Just to have a conversation, hear their experiences, hear what is, just talk to them.
Ladonna, me and Gary we were talking about that same thing recently, right?
Keep saying that. I don't know what I'm listen to it.
Yeah, it must be something why they don't want to come back and play. Maybe them you don't know the struggles when them are got you. That I'm saying, I say you don't know the struggles where they might have got you up there and how much things them have to deal with where make them just resent the associate. I said the same thing to Gary. I said, why is that? I'm glad you say it. Nobody asks, but
Willie,
you say
ask you something. You da move from Cherry Gardens, go move back to Tivoli Gardens.
It depends on the love where you get from Tivoli.
Only one garden.
That's just what I said.
As I said, when someone asks you to come and play for the country, you're not playing for them.
You're playing for yourself.
So you're playing for me. I love my teammates dearly. I love being around them. I love when we go to the training camps and we travel, and I love all of that experience. I'm doing that for me, my teammates, representing my family and representing Jamaica. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I can see where some people would not want to, have any interaction with, people that they consider to care about them as a person. You know what I mean? But that's something that we can improve on. It's not hard to do. It's just a phone call.
We need to fix the PR.
No, it's not. Wait, Gary, and I'm just saying, even because I was saying to Gary that even though I have a feeling that job or not, it's not there for support for all these young players that go away and stuff like that. But I'm saying, even if it's not for Jabba, do it for Jamaica, because even if you never get a scholarship for going, basketball or sports change your life. It save your life. Even with the people you might meet, your friends, because I have some good friends because of basketball. I know I meet Gary because of basketball. Goofy. All of them is because of basketball. And even though you might not get a scholarship and go away and all of them stuff, the basketball or sports in general save a lot of kids.
Yes.
So,
no, but to add to that,
you and me, so.
Yeah, to add to that still, where I kind of support both of your views on it, but to mention what Ladonna is saying, I'm more side go to her side in the sense that sometimes persons don't want to call them asking about basketball. And to be honest, regardless of what persons like to know that you genuinely care for the individual themselves, not the sport. You hear the coaches them who have the closest relationship with their players. The players don't mention sometimes about the skill. They will mention that listen, this person is there for me like a father. This person is always telling me that you can do better. Push yourself. They want to know that even when they're over there, we don't know what they're going through. You know what Ladonna said? She got cut. She lose her scholarship. right? And whose shoulder she cry on? She cry on her stepfather and her boyfriend. If there were some person down here who is trying to make contact, they would know about this and they could give her a call and say, listen, keep head up. We know this and that. And then when now you call her to play for the sport, what do you think will happen, Willard? She wouldn't just come down to play for the sport. She have come down to play because loving her happy now. So yo, when she go through the rough time, the hard time,
Well,
they were there. So it's a difference enough to just play for the sport or play for love, you know. And that is what is the problem out here now. We are playing the sport because the sport just there for play. We now play with the heart and the love. Willard,
no, there was this big if you're a part of the Facebook group, Martin's and Goofy Basketball group, there was a post by Stephen and Kimani friend commented with and had this long epistle saying the same thing that Ladonna is saying, you know, like nobody never really did it because I remember a story with even friend when he was some things going overseas or we not got to talk to. Him never really get no support. You know, it like
he really didn't.
And this is why I was talking about the mentorship program. Like if there's a committee or a mentorship program where we have a group of persons and this is their job. Their job is to keep in contact with these players, whether they're local or whether they're overseas.
Keep the family close.
Contact with them and, you know, mentor them, talk to them. How is it going? How is the workout? How is school? How is that? And, you know, just keep that contact with players. I think it will, you know, take this bitter and this negative feeling that some players have towards, you know, the sport. Like I would say it's towards the association, but again, basketball is bigger than Java. Basketball is bigger than
definitely.
Facts.
You know.
So it's not bashing. We're just telling you, it don't look good. As she says, it's not a Java thing. It's just the fact that you don't have to call somebody overseas to tell them, say, you want to go Western Union. You can't call them and tell them, say, yo, listen. Oh, go on, you're good. Sometimes people always call Western Union, but they don't know how.
I'm telling this girl, it's only who feels it knows. Hey, foreign hard, you know. Foreign hard.
Foreign is not a better rule.
It can be a very lonely place, especially if you're a young youth and leave, or a young female, a young male, I leave and I go there by themselves and not have a support the way them used to back home. Rough. I feel job I need to hire somebody like a Flimo, because Flimo and Goofy and them, no! Them keep in touch.
Flimo call me. I say, yo, Flimo.
Flimo and everybody a friend. And you don't say genuine. No, you can't tell. Say the relationship with Flimo have with these players. It genuine. They not come from Flimo just love basketball. He love to see what them are doing, and him just dead for support.
And trust me, just to not cut you, but really appreciate just the phone call. Just the phone call. Them really support. Them really appreciate. You know, the other day I went to see Romario.
Romario. Look for your screen.
Hi, Daddy.
Mr. Grant, big up,
Mr. Grant. You raised a wonderful queen.
Yes.
The other day, me and Rana and I went to see Romario play, and I know he was, you know, he's a Jamaican youth, and when you look, you see a few people, you know, from yard come at your game, come watch. It was such a great experience to be in that gym and watch him play, and you know, like kids, they need the support just to know that there are people there, you know, it really means a lot. For on my senior night, you saw that picture with the girls that they came, the other seniors that were graduating, their parents and their whether their boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever came to the senior night and they took the picture with them. And when they called my name and I went to get the photo, the thing from the coach, it was just me, and then all my teammates just ran up and
good.
Oh gosh.
And that's a good thing.
No pack cover never did it.
Huh?
No pack cover. No cover. Jamaica style.
But yeah, you know, the support, the players need a phone call. Just a phone call.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's been the norm with that call enough, you know that. Sorry about that.
We have a number now. We'll call half a minute.
No, man.
This is Joanne. Girl, you work hard. Your success is inevitable and well earned. And this is, and we have to say big up to Joanne. Joanne is in England, and so it's about what time now? It's 12:30, and she's up just to watch the interview. So as I said before, big up
Joanne, thank you
yourself.
very much.
Jeremy and Grant, can do his big boys here.
Is he a athlete or you know just?
No, he's a trainer now. He works in the fitness realms now, but he plays sports like the rest of us. But
okay. So him get me plan when I see on Instagram and them things there. Jeremy, the better Jeremy.
Jeremy, I know Step up. All right. What can we say? I don't want to interview finish. The time all over, but man, I tell you, Willard.
Me little in a still in a right now. Me shocked to some things. Me not hard to some things. Ladonna, I tell you, your story is amazing. I'm
telling you. Right now, I know that Adrian heard the story over and over, but Adrian love you a little bit more now. Him love you a little bit more. I say, yo, listen.
That's the story, man.
Man, not get enough credit, man. Adrian,
Adrian, big up for being
I saw that couple coming together at Star Search.
You saw it?
Yes, man, I see it, man.
Okay.
Yes, man.
Okay.
They were inseparable.
Mr. Ruan post something, like something, something is in the air. There will be a
lead
for them, trust me. Sacrifice, our commitment as the boys do. I have an open gym on Friday at XZ. If they were invited, they came whenever they feel like. Well, that's true. I've been there on a Friday.
And that's
Keep up the work, Ruan.
Ruan can tell you, before I left, I was in Ruan's skin. Sometimes Ruan wasn't even ready to come to XZ at the time. And I said, Ruan, you ready? And I am there. And I'm coming from Spanish Town. And I'm at XZ Saturday morning, 6 a.m. And I'm taking the bus to the gym to XZ to work out. And then we would play ball. And then sometimes either after, we would still probably do another workout, or we go to George's or something. But they have to want something. They have to want it. So they can't just Ruan is doing a workout. You should be on your eyelash at the workout.
Yo,
I'm throwing this out now. I'm throwing this out now. Saturday mornings, Boulevard Baptist Church. We have workouts. Start 6:30 a.m. till 9. Throwing it out now. Yeah. The more that's happening, I mean, the better for the yes. Go where you want to go.
As
I said, Nicole also posted when Jamaica basketball going when we are no longer playing. And I've asked that question a long time. I even said it that basketball will probably die with us.
That is up to us. And I made that choice today, and the rest of us in my generation, to reach out to the younger ones.
Definitely.
I have a few of them on Instagram and WhatsApp, and sometimes I reach out to them, and I talk to Ida a couple of times, and a couple other girls. Reach out to them, tell them what basketball did for you, Nicole. Like you got a scholarship too, and explain to them that there are possibilities. Explain to them that basketball gave me so much, right? And I need to have some, tell these girls it can be done. You can't use the sport. The sport is there to be used. You can use it. The first time I traveled on an airplane was because of basketball, right? First time I'm in Canada because of basketball. So there are opportunities there. You guys just have to work for it.
And with that being said, I said before, Interview Squad is about basketball. We are passionate about the females. But overall, I'm saying it go across the board. It can't be, girls, let me tell you, it can't be something that the fee said because you're a female, it's going to be easy. All the females that were brought on and set so far, telling you, is a dog-eat-dog world out there. You have to want it. So we are not going to pressure the boys them alone and say the girls them have it easy. And if we talk rough to the girls and that mean we don't like female basketball. I'm telling you, females, you have to step up to the plate. You have to show that you want it. You have to make sure that you're training 15 minutes before even the training time, putting in the work. Afterwards, some personal training. If you realize you need to shed a little pound, change your eating a bit. Push yourself in the gym. Get fit. Get ready. Basketball is a thing that Ladonna mentioned it, you can't hide. If you work out and do extra work on the side, it will show on the court. Yes, I can tell you personally saying, when I got called for the national team, I went there as a post player, and Bima, you know Bima, was coaching at the time. So Bima said to me that they are going to play a running game, so I might have to extend him, want me to come out of the blocks and turn and make that little shot. And I was having problem with it. The Friday I went home, I said, I'm not going to tell him nothing, you know. I shoot about 1,500 shots. Monday when I went to training, as soon as I shoot the first 2 shots, Bima walk over to me and say, you practice. I mean, I said, oh, pick up so quick. Now wait when the game starts to show us them. Because guess it will a coach know that you're putting in the work on the side. Nobody feel that you're putting extra work and it won't show. It will show eventually.
I never close the wrist. I never close the wrist.
That's something where coach always say. All that you and close the wrist.
Yeah. And next thing on that though, Gary, when a coach do come to you, it might not come to you nice. And they must say, hey, you need to work on this, you need to work on this. Don't take it as an insult. Don't take it like, hey, the fact say him say something about your game, go work on that. So don't leave, kids must not leave out things to and don't feel like
not get
the coach some against them or
when I'm in practice goofy, is like not talking like telling me or talking to me or acknowledging my presence in the practice, I know that something is wrong. I want the coach to tell me, say, I'm not doing this right. And when a coach, especially here, if a coach don't care how you play or you play defense, if they don't say anything at all to you, you know, say it's a wrap.
I saw me learn if the coach not call your name or something to you, you're on the bench or you're not suiting up.
Before I go to what Ryan said, really, Ladonna mentioned, and I don't know if persons realize how important that is. And she said that they need to talk on the court. People don't understand when you talk on the court, it build IQ, it build basketball IQ. You start seeing, start talk. So eventually the coach say, you know the game and they know where to correct you. If you're up on the court like a dummy, just come down, stand up, and just do your own. They get a joke thing.
But that has to be cultivated in practice. That has to be instilled by the coaches as well. If the kid,
you have some coaches that do the work still.
Yes.
You have some coaches that do the work. We have to pick up some of them.
No, definitely. But
Simon Brown.
Don't take what we say as we are bash all coaches. We are just putting some pointers out.
I have to pick up a little bit, man.
You have to set it from the beginning of training. Like the first day of training, you know this is the culture of the team. Listen, I've been in games where the bench doesn't even talk. Like somebody will be sneaking up to steal the ball and the bench just watch it happen.
Yeah, that's a watch.
And I'm like, yo, what? Like someone vexed because they're not start. I've seen people like a coach say, yo, you're not start today, sit down, and it's like you want him team lose, and I'm like, yo, you're not supposed to, you're not for play basketball. You're not for play basketball.
And that's why I was telling you that your attitude as well, it's not just about your skill, it's about how well you can be a part of a team. So a coach tells you you're not a starter, and the coach says, okay, this is what we need on the team now, and you're on the bench pouting the whole game, whether or not the team is winning, or you make up your face and that. The coaches don't value players like that. So you have to be about it. It's bigger than you. The team is bigger than an individual. So you have to be supportive, right? And if you want to get that PT, trust me, a coach is not going to keep a player that they know deep within that this player can contribute positively and keep them on the bench. You know what I mean? If you are such a good player, a coach is going to put you in the game. Right?
Yes.
The fact that you're on the bench, you have to look point the finger at yourself. Okay, what am I not doing? What can I do to get that gain that trust from the coach so that I can get some PT? So don't think, the coach not like me, that's why she's not. No. Somebody who, probably somebody's on the court and say, look how she's tired, why the coach not put me in? Probably the person that is tired, when they're at their lowest, they're still better than what you can give. So they have to look at yourself.
All right, let's look at this. Let's analyze this. Ruan says so true, so he agreed. And then you basically have a rebuttal like the Highland they leave the Highland on scholarship and job only know about it whenever something went wrong. No, why is that? Let me just say, you're getting a scholarship. One of your players that's registered or plays under that umbrella of Java can leave the island on a scholarship, as athletic scholarship, and Java doesn't know until something is wrong. That's on Java. Then I would say that's on Java.
No.
It's possible because people that some of the people that are offering scholarships. Yeah, there's a divide with the association and those people, and you don't have to go to an association to get a scholarship.
Willard.
Up to the player and their relationship with the association.
Yes.
To see how the information is disseminated, but Java doesn't have to know. But as I said, it's a relationship. That's important. You have to build that relationship with the players.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I get what Willard is saying.
What Willard
is saying is Java needs to make that. You said it earlier that PR. They need a PR thing now where they can communicate with players and players willingly know if I go overseas now on a scholarship. Oh, Java, I'm here. This is my number. If you need me for futures. Things like that. That's some simple things.
Yeah, but guess what? What I want to say, Goofy, I don't want to finish the conversation bitter. What we're saying and what Ruan mentioned, yes, for a fact, I know this for a fact. Sometimes they can make direct contact with the parents. And remember that some of the persons going out on scholarship are young players. So maybe the mother might say, I don't need to talk to Java, I don't need to inform me unless I get my child overseas, which is understandable. Yeah. So you won't know that everybody is going away. But what are we saying now? The ones who you know for a fact that is overseas, make contact with them. It's just simple as that. We're not bashing, we're just saying the ones you know that is overseas, sometimes we can make contact without invite, just because you want them to come back to play for the national team. But just to check in, check out. One phone call make a big difference. That's all we are saying.
Ladonna said something earlier. I know some of them do it. Ladonna will be talking to Idara now. Sean, big up those young talented kids. I know a Brian Grant and a Owen Hall has said to me, any kid who is coming up, they can get their number and they will give them their experiences and how to curve
Yeah.
More people need to come out publicly now. Big up Stephen Johnson. He's one that carries a lot of the overseas coaches over. When they go overseas to one another games. I remember when Kenton was playing for UConn. Sorry. Stephen Johnson took Kenton to see Jerome Jordan play.
Okay.
So I know you have a few people doing it. There's a few, but we need more. Even if it's just a phone call.
Yeah, Ladonna mentioned Stephanie over there can make contact. I see Adrian put up respect to Michael Minto. So there's a lot of persons over there who you can make contact with, and just keep the family close. But Willard, Adrian, I wonder why you have him wife and set so long. You should need to come up and call him. Yo, Willard.
Big up yourself.
Yo, I never expected it to be so long, but Ladonna.
Shava vibes.
Shava vibes.
Shava vibes on the Instagram. Something going on last night.
Yeah. And as what Adrian said, respect to Michael Minto. This man is one of the angels of Jamaica basketball, and I agree. Michael Minto name is always being mentioned by a lot of the younger players and coaches too. This man is definitely an angel. We should, if we're able to, Gary.
You're not able to, we're going to.
No, we don't know if I'm going to take it. No, the thing is,
I don't know Michael Minto, Willard. Actually, I don't know Michael Minto. Michael Minto is all about development in Jamaica. Once you make contact with him, he's willing. You don't know Mike. Right now, DJ Stumble Vex and I said that a while ago. Because he know Michael. Good.
We need him up here.
I am talking now about this queen right here.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of this queen right here. I don't want Adrian get jealous and all these things, but I tell you, we can't wait. But when are you planning to come and visit Jamaica, Ladonna?
May I tell you, man, right, March 13th, I was right by the airport. My flight was March 13th, and then COVID just mashed up every plan. So as soon as everything settled, Shanika, we were talking about it. We're in Jamaica, and we're planning to do a camp soon. So I'll keep in contact with her about that. But as soon as everything clear up with the yard.
Ladonna, when you reach Jamaica, what the first thing you're gonna do?
Go up here. A joke.
listen. Ladonna, I wear extra large than your jersey. I need a jersey. If I have to send my money up there for buy it, I need to wear one of your jersey. Your story, I'm not telling a lie. It touched me. Me hear talk overall. I need a jersey. I need to meet you and touch the court. Adrian is just friend. All right? Nothing more. We have to big up some ballers. We say Pets chip in.
Yeah, man, legend.
I think Pedler Canada them there too, right?
Yeah, man, Canada.
Yeah, Canada them there too.
We need a ring peddler. We need a ring peddler.
We meet. I don't want persons who are watching. Before we get to that, Willard, I'm so emotional. Please just acknowledge Ladonna's presence on the show and just tell her thank you for me, please. And then
want to follow our message, you see me? All of the young female ballers, them you don't need to make a link with Ladonna and all of these amazing female ballers that did it before and just ask for advice.
Yeah, man.
I'm willing to mentor, is it?
And I don't want nobody to text her at the last that she can send a 50 or 100. Listen to me. We need you to make contact. Ask her about how she transition, what they need to know. Even if you get a scholarship and you're supposed to go overseas and you kind of like wonder what really going to take place, these are the person you need to make contact with, and they will tell you that, you know what, X and Y and Y and X. So everybody, we'll continue to make our Instagram run. Friend her, like our Instagram page, ask her a question. As you can see, humble individual. Someone who's not afraid to talk, and she tell you, last night, me see her up on Instagram something, I watch Bunty and Beanie, so she left out her culture, her thing up, and a bag of things, and trust me.
Wait. Who
win the clash?
Everybody dead.
Jamaica win.
Jamaica win. All right.
Culture win, man.
Very good answer.
The police said. We don't find out who the police boy.
We don't find out who okay. Well, I have to ask all the players that will come on, you know. LeBron or Jordan?
Sugar say Goofy.
I love LeBron. I really like LeBron, but the GOAT is MJ.
No! You trying to go cuss?
You wanna go cut it off?
For those who don't know Adrian as Rhino, think about Anna Sashida playing basketball.
Killer.
Yeah, so all over I'm going to run up in a lot of the DMs now. Yeah.
Yes. All right. It's so we're so happy to have you on set, Ladonna. It's been a privilege. Lovely conversation. Pleasure. We could talk until about 12 o'clock. I'm telling you, and not get bored. Right? And I said before, you have been through so much. From listen to me, you're a strong young.
You inspire me right now, Ladonna. You inspire me.
Keep it up. Yeah. Hope that it rub off on all the persons who are watching, any young females who are looking on and wonder or not. I even want them more old, because I just say at one point you think that you were too old for a scholarship, and eventually it still take place. So Flynn, not give up. You want to cuss you and tell you stop talk about your old. Play basketball, play to the best of your ability. You never know who I watch. And for the persons who are watching, Willie, shall I say
yes, I said my diet plan, man. I talk about it backstage.
Start doing it, so me up on a contest right now. Start my interview, 60-day diet plan going.
Okay. So Ladonna, a lot of love from the interview family. Goofy's here, a lot of love. Yes, it was our privilege. All right, there you go. We don't want to let things out the box. This week is a week you need to watch the interview. We have some real good players that is coming on, some past players, and we have some persons involved in the growth of basketball, what they need to show some questions. You will see all of these things and more this week. Stacey and Robinson A big you up straight, a lot of big up, a lot of love. Oh, love you, sir. What is going on? What is going on?
When it's a tune in, you know,
serious, you know. Yeah, man, them teach them, man. So big up yourself. Listen, female basketball must survive and will survive, but guess what? It's not going to be an easy road, and we are telling you, work hard for what you want. Female support female is so hard, but we have to say it how it is. Female are normally like female. However, listen, female have to pull together and have to unite. We are here, and I'm telling you, the males, don't get it twisted. The males love the females. They love to soon play the basketball. We hope that sometimes they can come on the court and dominate and beat you up and like that. But hopefully they can play just as good as us.
Hey, we had a guest that said that back in your days, why Tivoli was so successful is that Tivoli usually go watch like the netball team play, and then the netball team will come watch. I'm saying that when the female, make sure when the female them play, the youth them go run in. And I would have loved to know, so when the youth them play, the female them come support. It's all about support. You get me?
There's no segregation.
Yeah, man. If no ball game and play females, and then you need a role model like myself to come and teach you know, the game and beat you up, I'll be there.
When them say role model, that him wait and him roll.
And him mad when him do it.
Alright, Ladonna, it's about 7:50 now overseas, 10 minutes to 8. As you come off the phone, you just call Adrian, call me. I know I'm wait for that call. Tell him say everything good, man. Relax. Alright, Nicole, contact, just love you. Nicole, Keisha sending you love. Everybody. Okay, cool. So again, this week interview squad. I want to call some name, but I just want to post a surprise, and I'm gonna see who all the week at turn out. We make contact, and trust me, we have a nice week planned for you guys. So interview squad in the building. Sunday evening, I got spoil my rice and peas. I'm a chicken and now I like me stop eat meat. So rice and peas and vegetable. Alright,
yeah,
so
you're married.
Big up Ladonna. Big up Ladonna.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna put it up, guys. Another legend.
Yeah, man. Yo, them man, we need to talk to Bulgy. Jesus, I'm massive. Why Bulgy comment? Yo, listen, my channel. They gonna help me, you.
Whoa, now start now. When Nicole just said, what just now? Nicole, my bad.
When Nicole can beat you.
Nicole, don't pass your place, Nicole.
Yeah, that's a big shot block. I'm starting to feel.
The two of them body on the post. Yo, them not playing people.
Keep up the good work. That I'm a general. Tomorrow, what ESD? I said go.
Yeah, no. Labor.
Can come from, you know.
I can't. I'm there, no youth. I check in to see what's happening now.
Big up Joe.
Joan, no 1 a.m. You're not supposed to be in bed now. Jesus, Joan.
Joan, your coffee strong.
Yeah, man. Alright. Interview squad in the building. We are out. Much love to Ladonna. Peace out.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Link up on the Insta. Now link up on the IG, man.
And before we sign out, let's again, obviously basketball is all about support. So let's give a shout out to Jamaica Basketball Project with Coach Returner, you understand? You need to tune in. I tune in to that program, and I interview some excellent national, international players, and them give good advice. I know you can even them go find them agent and what's it like playing overseas and all of them stuff. Then we need to tune in to that. So you understand?
And he's brought on legends like Jade Billis as well, Marcus Johnson.
Yeah, we don't have much I don't know in the COVID time, man. If they're home, tune in.
If you love basketball, support basketballs. Don't watch people, don't watch the pass.
Come off of the website. You know which website we are talking. want to come off of the website.
Rocky? Are you never talk, Rocky?
Alright, peace out.
Alright, bye everybody, and thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. Good, man.
Stay safe.